Welcome back to Bullshit Creepypasta Storytime, where we would have done this last week, but a certain story that shall go unnamed for a couple more seconds felt the need to destroy my poor capture device, and/or it took its own life to escape the story, though I'm leaning towards that first one. It's all your fault, and so of course I have to take out my frustrations and this whole situation on you. So happy spooky finger puppet ghost month. Today we'll be telling the tale of I'll Never Let You Leave. A while ago, I rediscovered my old N64 and all its games. I was moving out for reasons I would rather not talk about, because why would you want to write down words in the story you're writing? So, everything I owned had to come with me. Even though the game system was technically my brother's, he never touched it, and I'd long forgotten about it. I figured he wouldn't care if I took it with me. So basically the author stole something without telling someone, and then wrote it down and posted it on the internet, which is really the perfect crime if you think about it. So, I packed it up along with everything, and in parentheses, it could have taken less time. But with my new job, being lazy, and a bunch of other reasons, aka I couldn't think of anything else to write down, end parentheses, and the box with my N64 was the last one to be unpacked because symbolism or something. On a particular Saturday, we jumped in the future apparently, everything was unpacked. It only took weeks, and I figured I should reward myself and relax. It was a very daunting task after all. And who wouldn't want to be rewarded with the N64's control stick? So I rummaged through all my old games to see what I had to choose from. It came down to Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time, that's not right, Donkey Kong 64, Star Fox 64, or Paper Mario. It took me a while to decide, what with there being like 6 or 7 games there, but I eventually picked Legend of Zelda. Maybe someday he'll play that Ocarina of Time title. But I blew into the cartridge to get rid of all the dust, and in parentheses, even though it says not to. Author daring to go against the grain and set off death flags, but he went one step further and blew into the system to also get rid of the dust. I slammed the cartridge in and turned on the machine. It started up normally. It was a little glitchy at first. That's not normally. But the N64 logo was really screwed up. The cords weren't in all the way, so I pushed them in a bit further and everything was back to normal. Oh, exciting creepypasta action. I'm glad you included that special chord section into the story. I pressed start and decided to start over completely. So, I erased my old save file from when I was like 12, which you didn't have to do that since you have 3 files to work with, but fuck you, I guess, 12-year-old version of author. The game started up again. The first time, and I was in heaven. Everything was going really well. It went so well, author describes mostly none of it, but I was kicking butt as Kid Link. I'm sure you did. And I was done with the Great Deku Tree in less than a half hour, meaning he's only kind of a scrub. After he did his little speech and died, and in parentheses, which made me start thinking. This is, of course, where you at home run away for safety, but this game was rate E, end of parentheses. That was a close one, but I ran off as fast as I could, make Link run to the Lon Lon Ranch. This was my favorite place of all time, mainly because of Malon. Oh god, not one of you guys again. I expected to see her there, but it was evident I had forgotten I had how to actually write sentences and get to the part where you meet Epona. Shit, Ingo was there though, and he said that the lazy worker Talon had gone, and so was Malon, and they had gone to Castle Town, one of 2 towns, to deliver milk, and hadn't returned. Then I remembered what I was actually supposed to do. Good thing the game told him. So, I left Lon Lon Ranch and did the little mission with the cuckoo. The mission of wait till morning and walk past the poor sighted guards. Woke Talon up with it. He ran off and I was so excited. now I could go back to the ranch after a meeting with Zelda. Let's just kind of sidestep this important plot thing going on. So I finished up meeting with Zelda as quickly as possible. Saving the world can wait. And I made my way back to the Lon Lon Ranch. Not sure if you put the in front of it. I was so excited though. Malon was my favorite character, in case you missed the repetition so far in the story. But I love just sitting there and listening to her sing Epona's song, which has no words, but she sings it so well. I would find myself humming along too. It was great, and not at all creepy, but I did need to finish the first part of the plot line to actually be able to get Epona and see the older version of Malon. Again, not creepy though. It took me a few more hours to complete the next 2 stages or dungeons, and by the time I had grabbed the Master Sword, it was late and I was tired. So, I went to bed. I saved and figured the next day I could go get Epona and see Malon and just listen to her sing again, or stand there and make noises, whatever she wants. When I woke up, I instantly turned on the N64, which was apparently right next to him, and sat down to play Hug Pillow at Ready. I figured I deserved another day off, which, no you don't. You didn't do shit yesterday. But I didn't have anything to do, it was Sunday, I didn't have work, and it was pouring rain outside, so there was no way I was going out, because unfortunately, umbrellas aren't a thing. So, it just seemed like a Zelda day. I started up the game and continued my game. Fucking repetition. As usual, I started in the Temple of Time, but something seemed off. I wasn't sure what it was, but something was just off. What could it be, you wonder in suspense? The author has a short attention span, and so our next piece of text is, in any case, I continued to the Lon Lon Ranch to perform God knows what kind of sick arts. When I got there, I, of course, had to talk to Ingo. When I did, I just felt my stomach turn, for some reason, I won't explain. He talked about how Ganondorf gave him the ranch, but that's not what got me. He said that Ganondorf had given him some sort of power, undoubtedly some sort of mustache-related power, and that he had done something to Malon and Talon. It wasn't that they had run away or anything, it was just like they were just gone. It was like he killed them. I was convinced this wasn't true. Hey, could we stay on one fucking thought process for a second, please? But I was convinced it wasn't true. This thing that I just made up, it's not true. Because if I beat him in the race, I just had to jump over the fence and return to the ranch and everything would be normal. That's not, how murder works. So, I paid him the 10 rupees to ride a horse. I played Epona's song, and my loyal steed came to my side. God. When I played Epona's song though, Ingo didn't seem too happy about it. It was like when I played Epona's song, I remember the name of that song, stop saying it, it hurt him though. He even did the little animation enemies do when Link hurts them. You're all of course familiar with that universal animation for every single character in the game. It's a classic. But I ran over to him and we decided to race, which is obviously what you do when someone's in pain, but I won both times, and Ingo, as usual, was really angry about losing. As usual, again, he locked the gate to leave Lon Lon Ranch up. That doesn't make sense, but something really off happened, besides the words. He said, "I'll never let you leave, ... I didn't think anything of it, end of paragraph. That was an off paragraph. I tried to jump the fence, but right before Epona tried to jump, she stopped, reared up, and backed away slowly. Ingo repeated, "I'll never let you leave." We couldn't think of any other dialogue for him, but I tried time and time again, but only got the same response. "I'll never let you leave." No dots this time, you're on notice, author. I was getting frustrated though, so I saved and turned the game off, figuring I would be back in the Temple of Time when I returned to the game. When I returned to the game, repetition, Link was still in Lon Lon Ranch. He was locked in with the horses. It was nighttime, which was even stranger because it was daytime when I ended the game last. Link was also lying on the ground as if he would when he was dead. How the hell did you notice that part second? Sure is dark outside. Oh look, a corpse. But what the hell happened to my game? I moved the joystick around to get Link to move, and slowly he got up. When I tried to equip bombs to try and escape, because that's the only way out of the Lon Lon Ranch apparently, but they were gone. It was like I never had bombs to begin with. That slot was just gone. You just said the same thing 3 times, and I couldn't use the hook shot because I never went and got it, and that's what your Malon fetish got you. So I was stuck here, unable to bomb or hookshot my way out of my life problems. I called Epona over to me, but every time I tried to get up, Link just made a face and a text box reading, "It doesn't appear you can use that here." I was so confused, and believe me, you're not alone, but I need to ride her to get out of here. That doesn't sound good, but something was preventing me. It couldn't be related to that being dead thing, though. Then, I remembered what Ingo had said. "I'll never let you leave." Nice of author to remember the name of his story, but so he was just keeping me here? But why? It didn't make sense to me. Like most things in life, I left the horse pen, because I'm allowed to do that now, and went to the back to that weird building that's just sort of there terminology. I tried to open the door, and a text box appeared again. "Where you going?" Link turned, and it was Ingo, aka the only other character. Ingo looked angrier than normal, though, and there was a weird purple aura hanging around him. Link drew his sword and/or pressed the B button and glared at Ingo. They stood in silence for a moment before Link lunged and Ingo jumped back, repeating yet again, "I'll never let you leave," because the story's budget wouldn't allow for any other lines to be written. The cutscene ended, and I had to fight Ingo. The battle music started up, and I kept trying to slash at him with the sword, but it just wasn't working. He was too quick. Clearly, this is a nimble-looking man with a mustache, and even if I did hit him, he took no damage, because he's an NPC character and you're an idiot. But I wouldn't know that because I never hit him, so it's a moot point. Then, I remembered what had happened when I played Epona's song the previous day. It seemed to hurt him, or at least bug him a little bit, so I put the sword away and played Epona's song. It's a good thing Ingo stopped attacking so you could do that. But indeed, it did hurt him, and summoned my horse. Epona ran to me, and on her way to me, she ended up trampling Ingo while he was on the ground. That's a tad anticlimactic. But don't worry, I see more words in the story. Writhing in pain from the song. Oh, the song? Not the being trampled by that fucking horse? You wuss. But instead of the usual sound effect for an enemy being hit, there was an unsettling, crushing sound as Epona ran the poor man down. That poor man who tried to kill you just moments ago, how could she? And despite being trampled by the full-grown horse, Ingo got back up, and another cutscene started. God, anything but that. "You think you are so clever," said Ingo. "You think you have beaten me? Run me over with a horse, sure, but not beaten me, apparently. This has only just begun." From the purple aura, he formed a sphere and fired it at Link, using his Ingo powers. He went flying into the wall, and blood splattered from his head onto the wall. God, I hope he hit that sculptula. But his hearts went from about 6 through 7 hearts to about 2. That's what hitting your head in blood equates to on the heart scale. Link stood up again, and Ingo was about to fire another. That sounds like a questionable situation to be in, but Epona reared up and hit Ingo again with the disturbing crunch sound. Link ran over to Ingo, and it gave me control again, figuring the only way to hurt him was to play Epona's song, which is a quitter's mentality, frankly, but I repeated that. He got hurt, and Epona trampled him. So basically, he's going to kill him with the power of repetition. By the 6th or 7th time of doing so, Ingo is in a pool of blood, and Link looked down to him with pity, which means we're somehow in another cutscene. Even though you have defeated me, though, I will never let you leave. Dots, never dots, leave dots. His reached out to Link. That lay flat on the ground. What? When I went to inspect the body, Navi just said he isn't moving. I had killed Ingo. Well, really, Epona did it. You're more of an accomplice. Still gonna go to jail, though, so don't worry about it. But this wasn't like killing the mindless enemies in the dungeons or anything. I killed Ingo. Remember the last time I said that? Said it again. But sure, he was a jerk. But I killed him. In case you didn't read those other 2 times I said it, here it is again. It was me. Then the words he said disturbed me greatly. I killed him. I hate you so much. And even though he was dead, because I killed him, he wouldn't let me leave the ranch. I didn't save the game. I just unplugged the N64 and TV and went to my room. I curled up in bed with all the blankets over me and shook in fear, as would any other man-child. What was this? It didn't make sense. I was scared and confused and under blankies. I didn't know what to do anymore. I was so lost in thought, which in itself is a scary thought, but I didn't realize I fell asleep under the blankets. I woke up around 3 in the morning and couldn't get back to sleep. I just lay in bed for a while, still trying to get a grasp on what had happened the previous day. Was it all a dream? Around the number 7, my alarm went off and I was fairly quick to get out of bed and get ready for work at my work job. But my mind was still revolving around that game. It was haunting my thoughts. Look, I get it, okay? You suck. I went to work and was pretty distracted the whole day, being bad at my job and whatnot. I decided that when I got home, I would make dinner and see if anything had happened. With what? The dinner? But I needed to know. After work, I went right home and made a quick dinner. Mystery solved! I was so nervous about playing the game again, though. I felt sick to my stomach. I sat a long while after dinner, trying to let my stomach settle on all this filler, but it was no use. I was just so nauseous, and I knew it wouldn't end until I played it. So, I plugged in the N64 again and turned on the game. This time, when the startup screen popped up, Link and Epona were not there. The music played as usual, but there was just no Link and Epona. I pressed start and looked at my save file. It looked normal, something you don't seem to have the concept of, but it started up. Link was in the Lon Lon Ranch, in the horse pen, and lying on the ground as he had the previous day, because Link loves to nap. The grass had turned brown. I didn't know there was grass. And there were patches of red as well. I moved the joystick and Link got up. As I moved around the ranch, I saw horses lying on the ground. The sight of them all unsettled me so much, and I just lost it, pansy, and threw up. But I couldn't stop staring at this, so we did it while throwing up, multitasking people. The horses that had been lying down were mangled though. Chests and torsos cut up and oozing blood. Their innards were lying besides them. The eyes were wide and mouths gaping open. If that completely unnecessary gore in this shitty filler-ass story wasn't bad enough, it looked as if their bones had been broken due to other horses trampling over the dead bosses. Look, you guys need to fix this fucking trampling problem you got going on in the ranch right now, God. But on one of the fences, a horse was impaled on it, just for fun, I guess, to lighten the mood, and there were huge chunks taken out of its back, as if horses that were jumping over the fence cleaved the poor creature with their hooves. I was so sickened, I'm not sure that's how hooves work, but I was sickened, I threw up again. You're wasting food. But why did I have to listen to my curiosity? And of course, the answer to that is you are main character. You get to do stupid stuff, and you're not smart. But I would have been much better off if I would have never touched the game again. or written the story. I called Epona over, because clearly that's a good idea, another horse, and it just looked as if she was covered in blood. As she trotted over to me, chunks of what I could only assume were wild horse flesh fell off her hooves, and I stared at her. I had to escape. I hopped on her and tried to hop the fence in the front again. The text box that said, "I'll never let you leave," popped up, and Epona reared up, this time throwing Link from her back. He fell to the ground with a thud, and I lost a heart from it. Now Link was at just one heart. I bit my lip. I had to kill Link to escape from this hell, or just not play the game anymore, but we're gonna go with your plan. So I repeated the process, and Epona threw him from his back. He lay on the ground for a moment, but instead of instantly going to the game over screen, it stopped and displayed a little cutscene. Oh no. Epona went over to investigate the body, proceeding to trample it with that sickening crush trampling sound, took a bite out of his body, then started to run towards the screen. It was like she was trying to jump out of the screen at me, because clearly this is all your fault. So I screamed and threw the controller down. I buried my face in my hands until everything just stopped. Okay, well that's not really gonna help the situation at all. But no noise came from the TV. I looked up and saw the game over sign. It said its usual, "Do you want to continue?" I pushed no, and it returned to the start screen. The music started up and Epona and Link rode in together. Perfectly normal. I stared at the TV for the longest time, but finally turned off the game system. I wasn't going to question what had happened, because I'd have to think of more plot points to write down, and I wasn't going to try and see if the game was back to normal, because I just got done literally beating a dead horse for a couple of minutes, and its friends. But I wanted nothing to do with this game ever again. I put the cartridge in a box that was going to a garage sale later this month, because fuck it, pawn that spooky ghost off to someone else. I wasn't sure if any others would have to see what I did, or if they would be able to play the game normally, or just download it off the virtual console and be done with it all. But I knew I never wanted anything to do with Ocarina of Time again. Good thing you played Legend of Zelda instead, huh? But he's also not going to play any Legend of Zelda games either, for that matter. I gathered all my Zelda games and sent them to the garage sale. A really stupid thing to do. I'll still play Mario and Sonic and the such, those being the only two other game franchises in existence, but I will never be able to look at The Legend of Zelda the same way again. Not even in Super Smash Bros. Oh god, not that. Anyways, Dots. This game has had a pretty big impact on me. Dots. End of story. And what an impact it was, leaving in its wake a padded, gory, pointless mess of a story. May Capture Thingy rest in the garbage. You've been avenged, my friend, maybe. This has been Bullshit Creepypasta Storytime. Thank you for watching. Hey guys, welcome back to End Slate, or should I say Spook Slate, because we are now in October, and I would have started the Halloween special like a week ago, but Capture Thing broke. So, there you go. But happy spooky Finger Puppet Ghost Month. We just did a Bullshit Creepypasta Storytime on I'll Never Let You Leave. Quite a long story, a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. I figured like 15 minutes. I didn't think it would push 20. That's stupid. But I hope you enjoyed it, stupidity. Hi, I'm Yuriofwind. Okay. I guess we'll do the End Slatey recommendee video things. First thing I'd like to recommend is the last video I did on this channel, which was a Gaming Mysteries on the beta of Persona 3, aka Best Hair Ever. The other two videos will be on a Bullshit Creepypasta Storytime that you may have missed, and an Obscure Gaming that you may have missed. just so you guys know, I do have more plans for videos for the rest of this month. I got sidetracked when my capture thing broke. That's one of those things where having a Patreon would come in handy. So maybe I'll set one of those up at some point. Just as an optional thing. I wouldn't lock off content. But it would help me fix my stupid shit. Also, apparently, my computer, not USB 3.0 compatible. Learn that. But anyways, more videos this month. Sorry I couldn't start the special sooner. Oh, and also, not every video this month is gonna necessarily be spooky themed. I have some ideas in my head that are scary, but not necessarily scary in the way you would think something is scary. But I do have some spooks, some fucked up words lined up for you guys as well. So I do hope you enjoy this month of stuff. So until next time, I've been Slate. Welcome to Yuriofwind. Bye, guys.